start with Christian let's start on the presidential race. I mean, we're just weeks away from the Iowa caucuses, and then several months away from the Wisconsin primary. But what are some of your predictions and thoughts on? Let's start with Iowa and the first primaries. Who's gonna come out on top?
Well, for right now, if you had to guess, it would be Ted Cruz would probably be the winner, or if Mary had her way, Tom Cruise. Trump is fading a little bit, although nationally he's still keeping his numbers up. As far as whether the primary in Wisconsin is going to make any difference by the time we get to that, I honestly don't think it is. I've got my own little factoid, so take this, Craig Gilbert. Wisconsin has voted for the Republican candidate every time since 1976. It's one of only 9 states to do so, and that's usually because we've been so late in the calendar that everything is usually buttoned up by then. And that's the case this time, too. Even though it is in early April, 70% of the delegates are already going to be cast at that point. So
no
I think
brokered convention, you don't think?
No. I think, if I had to guess right now, I would say Marco Rubio would be the nominee, and therefore, given that pattern, I would think Wisconsin would vote for him in the Republican primary.
All right, let me ask Mary and Dan here. So, Mary, do you have any thoughts on the Republican nominee? Will it be, as you suggested, Marco Rubio, or is this Donald Trump surprise, or what are you anticipating?
I'm going to guess that whoever wins Iowa will not be the nominee. I think Ted Cruz has a good chance of winning Iowa, but the past shows that has not led to really a nomination. Did they pick Santorum last time?
Right.
So
the time before, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Ted Cruz and then him not being the nominee. I think I'll go with the drama that will ensue, and I still think it could be Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush as the eventual nominee, but I don't see. Trump is just I think people have been predicting his demise for a long time, and it hasn't happened. So I think he could still.
I'm more interested in the fallout of what happens. If it's a Marco Rubio, like Christian said, or someone like Jeb Bush, like you said, then it becomes a traditional race. But if it is either Cruz or Trump, then everything is thrown off. It affects the Feingold Johnson race here. I think Johnson's clearly the underdog, but if it's Cruz or Trump, that hill that he's got to climb becomes even steeper. I'm also interested in, and we've been seeing this since the terrorist attack in Paris, whether the debate in the presidential race is either about the economy or about foreign policy. And Republicans are pushing very hard for it to be foreign policy, even though Hillary Clinton is likely to be the nominee for the Democrats and was Secretary of State, because I think most Republicans think that's a better issue for them than the economy right now.
Yeah, well, let's talk briefly on the Democratic side. Is there anyone who doesn't expect Hillary Clinton to be the nominee, Mary?
Bernie Sanders.
I assume I'm talking about the president.
Many people in Madison who love Bernie Sanders. I think that a lot of people expect Hillary to be the nominee. I think it would have to be a pretty severe scandal to bump her from that position. But I think that there will be some very reluctant Bernie Sanders lovers who do not want to embrace Hillary as the nominee.